So the day finally came for surgery, April 12th. The surgery was outpatient. The same doctor who did both of my shoulder rotator cuff surgeries. It was pretty extensive surgery. So 2 of my ligaments were repaired with allograft grafts, which is basically they take tissue from a dead person and put it in my knee. So I have two of my ligaments have allografts. So when I came home, I was drugged up pretty good. They did give me the good stuff. My very first shoulder rotator cuff surgery, they gave me one of those narcotics. And I felt awful on it. I felt like I had ants crawling all over me. It just messed with me. So I was able to get by with just 24 hours of the strong meds, transitioned to only Tylenol at that point. I believe it was the day of surgery in the afternoon, they delivered my continuous passive motion knee thing, which is just a thing you stick your leg in, strap it in, and it moves it through a range of motion. At first that was pretty uncomfortable, but I spent many hours laying on the couch, laying on the floor, having this sucker move my knee in and out. One thing I noticed helped so much from my shoulder surgeries was having an ice therapy machine, and that really helped with the pain significantly. One of the big issues I had that was really difficult for me, and I discussed that in my episode 1 video, was the heart rate issues. I felt like the days after my surgery, my heart rate continued to go up, and it stayed up for several weeks, and it took a long time for it to come back down. Interestingly, I guess before surgery, my heart rate really didn't go up, so I imagine it was the trauma of having them in my knee, as well as my body realizing that it needed to heal. Sleeping was a challenge. I never really got more than an hour or 2 at a time. It was very difficult to find a comfortable position. But over time, that continued to get better. Thankfully, my kids were very helpful. So they were helping me as much as they could, bringing me food, bringing me water, replacing the ice things in my cold therapy machine. One of them even rigged up a solution for me to be able to read without having to hold my Kindle, which was making my arm really tired. So that was cool. So about a week after surgery, I was finally allowed to take off the wrapping. I got my first look at what my knee looked like, the aftermath of the surgery. They ended up using staples on all of the holes. But even after getting all the staples out, it still continued to bleed a little bit. It did heal pretty well. I have a pretty impressive scar on my knee. So I will share a little bit more in my last video coming up, and I will show you how it looks today and how things are today a little over 2 years later. Thanks for watching.